Oh, welcome everyone to the House of Dre's podcast segments. Now, on the House of Dre's podcast segments, these are normally about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe less, between 5 to 15 minutes of just a small subject to talk about in between podcast to podcast on a week to week basis. Of course, if you're new to the podcast, please go ahead, hit the share button, hit the follow button, rate this 1 out of 5, letting me know what you thought about the podcast. Of course, the podcast is about pretty much just random topics that I can think of. But today, for today's segment, we're going to be talking about the next line of video games. Now, this is something I talked about in my old podcast, I believe. I talked about that before, and I'm gonna make a full podcast over it. I might in the future. I still need to transfer it. I still need to re-update a lot of the podcasts from the past. But don't worry, I'll get to it eventually. So, video games for the future. What am I talking about? What do I mean? So basically, nowadays, especially right now, the video game world, whether it's PC, whether it's consoles or whatever, especially consoles, mostly consoles always going to come out with the next console for people to go buy, right? But the problem with buying the next console happens to be there's not enough original games to play on those consoles. Now, what do I mean by original games? Original games for me is where it's only made for this game. I mean, only made for this game system specifically. For example, the what is it? The next Marvel's Wolverine is going to be PlayStation 5 exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be that consoles only, right? Because they're planning on doing a lot of bunch of stuff, whatever they're planning on doing. That's going to be like that. That's good because you're not should be because that's good. That's original gaming. It shouldn't be. They shouldn't have it to where if it's available on the PlayStation 4 still, on a game of the past. I guess you can call it the current gen or the past gen, because if you keep doing that, which I don't mind because I still got a PlayStation 4 myself, but at some point we're getting to the point to where we have the PlayStation 5, we have the Xbox, whatever, and you guys need to start making games for that system, because the worst thing you want to do is keep crossing over. When the PlayStation 2 came out, one of the greatest, in my personal opinion, one of the greatest consoles of all time. When the PlayStation 2 came out, we didn't have a lot of PlayStation games that you can play on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 had its own category. Man, there was a lot of games on the PlayStation 2. I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot. Right. Whenever the PlayStation 3 came out, there was still for me, I was still playing my PlayStation 2. But at a certain point, they decided, all right, I think it was a wrestling game. It was a wrestling game. I forgot which game it was. But they was like, okay, you can only have PlayStation. This is a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 or Xbox whatever exclusive gamings now. They're moving to that. I'm like, okay, well, now I need to update. So now I need to update the PlayStation 2 to a PlayStation 3. And it forced me to do it. And then the same thing when they said Kingdom Hearts 3 was only going to be on the PlayStation 4. I was like, all right, well, I need to get a PlayStation 4 because I want to play Kingdom Hearts 3, and I can't play it on the PlayStation 3, and that's why I upgrade to a PlayStation 4. I had to upgrade to continue to play what game I want to play. But nowadays, a lot of games are just not it. There's not really a lot of there's a lot of indie games out there, which are basically indie games are pretty much like small independent games that really don't get that much stream time. I mean, that not a lot. It's not as popular as like a 2K sports game or a wrestling game or Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that. It's more of those smaller games to where you take a chance at it if you watch somebody play it and see somebody play, and then you kind of get interested in playing, and then you go try to play it or whatever. But those games don't really get looked at as much because the community, while I think the community is kind of big, but it's not bigger than those type of other games like that. I think you'll get a lot more people. I think you had a lot more you had a lot of people playing Among Us when that came out over a game like, I can't even think of a game that's an indie game. I'm just gonna name off one, like was it Brights or something like that? I think that's the name of it. You know, people gonna play Among Us more than anything because they seen other people play, they hear people talk about it, and they hear people play it, that they'll go play that over this game. So that's what happens. But nowadays, we're getting to the point, especially for me personally. For me personally, when it comes to video games, I've gotten to the point to where I'm not even trying to go buy the next game because it feels like it's going to be the exact same game over and over. They're not trying their best to create some sort of differences. You know, I'll stand by this every single time. NBA 2K games, I always say the best version of an NBA 2K game will be able to take certain things from the past, from the GOAT games. You know, you go ask whoever played most 2Ks and ask them what was the greatest 2K. Give us the top 10 or the top 8 best NBA 2K game. I guess you could do 10. Give us the top 10 best 2K games and give us why was this awesome, and then take those elements and create into a new game system. I mean, made it to a new game, and then all you have to do is just continue just to update the game as things happens. You know what I'm saying? You update it. Okay, new draft class is coming out. Hey, 2K has built their own version of this new draft class coming out. We've already got the likeness scan and all that. I mean, we want to get their likeness scan and stuff. It's going to take a little bit, but we will get the game like that. I said that's going to be the greatest game of all time. But 2K is not going to do that because they need their money. So instead of them scrapping it, instead of them doing that, instead they will go out and create a whole new game and just copy and paste what they already did and just update stuff. I mean, update the people. That's it. That's all they're really doing. And then for WWE games, I always say that the best version of a WWE game is them actually keeping up on everything that's going on in wrestling in general, especially in WWE games. In WWE games, usually we have a brand new, somebody come out with a new outfit, somebody come out with a new theme song, somebody just turned heel or something, and we can't get that in this 2K game because they're not quick enough to update them. Instead, we have to wait until the next game. By the time we wait for the next game that comes out, this gimmick and everything going on, it's gonna be old. So the model and all that stuff is already out of date. I love playing. I haven't played it in a while. I haven't played my game in a while, quite honestly. But on WWE 2K24, they have who was it? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. They have it to where, you know, what was it? They have it to where they have, it's something I forgot. I'm losing. I lost my track of thoughts that quick. It was something on it was damage control. They have damage control on the game, but it's like, well, now by the time this game came out, damage control is no longer a team anymore. You know what I'm saying? Bailey's not part of this group. Now we need Kairi Sane, and we need Asuka at it. We need to remove Bailey. We need to add Dakota Kai, and now we need updated entry for everybody. We're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that to the next game. But then by the time that happens, Dakota Kai probably turns babyface or something. You know, something different happens. You know, and it sucks because there's no keeping up to date. Or all these DLCs that comes out, you'll think we will get to the point. Well, they'll get to the point to where we can just have everything quickly updated, but that's not gonna happen. I don't. So for me personally, for video game wise, like, yeah, there's gonna be there's always gonna be games out there to go buy and play. But for me personally, I need games. I don't need anything too crazy. Quite honestly, I don't. There's certain aspect of the games to where, for the next wrestling game, I'm gonna toss this out there. This is my example. To me, my favorite wrestling games, I have. Okay, we're gonna stick to the PlayStation eras and stuff. My favorite wrestling game is SmackDown vs. Raw 06, 07, to an extent 08. This is something I like from 08 that they did. 2K14, 2K14, 2K16. I think those are the 5 best games that I've played. And what I want from them, they got the general manager mode, right? They brought that back. Just take the SmackDown versus Raw '07 version of it to where they had the 3 shows for a pre-show, then they had the regular card. Take the way they did '07, you add that. '08, add it to where throughout the week you can help raise the popularity up and down. Add that too. You just add those 2 elements to that game. Career mode, you're building the character. The SmackDown vs. Raw games made it to where it seemed like it was endless of storytelling. I know nowadays it's kind of like that too. You know, you can pick and choose and stuff, or blah blah blah, whatever. Continue that. You know, continue doing that. That'd be great to do. You know, make it fun. Make it more interesting outside of just the normal. My universe mode. God, just re-amp that crap because you take out entries, you take out show intros, bring those back. You take out promos, bring those back. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that has to be changed. I mean, just bring back stuff that actually makes sense. You know, let's create a storyline. Can we have that back? You know, there's a lot of things like that from the past that can be added to the new game system, and people will play that forever. And for a wrestling game, we don't need another wrestling game. You know what I'm saying? You could legitimately just update the game as the years progress. That'll be 100% fine. I'll stop limiting us to having just 100 characters or so. It was exciting back in 2K24 when it first happened, when we could have up to 100 creative wrestlers. But nowadays, with other wrestling promotions and things like that, we need to up that to, you need to triple it, 300, 500, something like that, I think a lot of people will have a lot more fun doing that. And not only it'd be a lot more fun, there's a lot of other things that I can go deep in details with, but there's a lot of things with these games that just not hitting the same. Maybe it's because where we at, maybe because it's no longer fun. I don't know. But the idea of having a game like Quake, I was live streaming Quake earlier this year, or was that last year? I think it was last year. Quake is basically, I don't even know. You just grab guns, shoot monsters, advance to the next stage. Simple. Nothing too crazy. Simple work. Simple work. Simple work. We need games like that back. Games like that's easy. The next GTA is GTA 6. And for me personally, to go out and buy that game and play it, I really need them to have it to where you can hook up your Pandora or your Spotify on the game, where you in your car, you can actually listen to when you listen to the radio, you can actually listen to your stuff and not whatever the game play. It's already a rated R game, so let's go ahead and just push it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Like I said, there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to the gaming section. I'll probably make a full podcast at some point in the future when I remember again, but that's just me though. Y'all let me know what y'all think about video games nowadays. Your favorite video game, I guess, of all time, if you have one. Favorite game series of all time. Mine, of course, is wrestling 24/7. 7 days out of the week is wrestling. Um, yeah, that's about it. I will catch you guys. I promise y'all, I got the podcast coming soon. At some point. At some point.